What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and it is a soft evening here in my apartment building. It seems to be kind of raining softly outside, and so I'm in kind of a relaxed mood today. I figured I would swing back through and we would play a little bit of Gnomoria together. So in the previous episode, we had come across a major problem in which we hadn't put up a wall. I had been really kind of lazy about it, and I hadn't thrown a stone wall or just kind of any sort of wall. You can actually build it out of this fence right here. You can build it out of really anything that you want. The enemy has no way to destroy walls aside from, I think later on you get tunnelers or something like that, or sappers or something along those lines who try and destroy everything. But for right now, there's nothing that's going to be able to get through a wall, and so we really needed to focus on funneling enemies through a central location just to ensure that they hit our guards first, because what had happened is last time we got attacked by goblins. Not such a big deal all by itself. I mean, I'm not afraid of goblins. We ain't afraid of no goblins. Doesn't matter here at Gnomoria. We roll hard. That's how we do it here in the hood. But anyways, they had showed up, and all of our guards but one had been asleep, and so the other guard aggroed one of the goblins, but the others ran down into our base and caused all kinds of problems. What we want is for the fight to take place right here, so all the aggro is locked on one character. And so when they had ran downstairs, they killed off like half of our farmers, and so now our farming queue is all messed up. Our archers aren't getting pulled, but anyways, we just had a harvest come through. We're still recovering from the fact that we don't have a ready supply of livestock, unfortunately, but that's something we can fix fairly quickly once we have a few like gold rings and things like that. It'll be easy. We can buy a bunch of livestock for those. Not really that concerned about it. There are a lot worse things that could have happened through the winter. I mean, we could have gotten snow in our nose. We could have ended up just like our fingers falling off and all kinds of crazy stuff. When you aren't in the snow too long, bad things happen. Everything I've ever read about the Donner Party leads me to believe that the worst things happen when it's cold outside. And so luckily the worst thing that we ended up losing in that whole situation, our altercation with the seasons, was just a couple yaks. It's all good. I mean, it kind of sucks that we wasted all that time getting them all trained up, but I'm not really that sad about it because there was nothing we could do about it in the first place, because there was never a vendor who would sell wheat straw to us, and so they starved to death. Nothing we could have helped right there aside from making our fields bigger in the earlier game, and based on my past playthroughs, I felt like 49 spaces was good enough. I think it was kind of the combination of me making all of our... I forgot that I had a work order down here that was using up our wheat on beer, and I think that's what got us. And so it was just kind of one of those little oversights from the earlier game that I had forgotten to cancel, and that's what always gets you in Gnomoria. So in this episode, I don't really know what we have in front of us aside from getting the wall done. Once we get the wall all finished off, they won't finish it over here because we removed the ramps, and unfortunately they can't build down. Like what the developer needs to do is he needs to add it so that they can build up or down one layer, and it would just make your life a million times easier, both for building... yeah, I was worried about that. So what's happened right here is that they haven't put in the torches because they were building a wall, and it was something that I was really concerned about. So hopefully our guards will jump on that and it'll get handled. And so there it is right there. Our guards should be able to make pretty quick work of skeletons. They are not a high tier enemy. It's something that should just get fractured very, very rapidly. And so now these skeletons are taken care of. In fact, he lost a leg. He has a leg off right there. He lost his right leg and his left hand. So apparently, I'm thinking how we cut off his hand and his leg with a hammer. First and foremost, I have to applaud Smash Nasty for her very creative application of a hammer, because frankly, hammers aren't known for their cutting action. That's not one of the things they're great at, and somehow she managed to make it work. So you know what, Smash Nasty? You are crazy and terrifying, and I will never... In fact, you can have anything you want from me, Smash Nasty. I will never ever argue with you. You could be like, give me that sandwich, and I'd be like, here you go, take my sandwich. It's alright. I'm not going to argue with you. That would be the general thing that I would say about Smash Nasty, that she is a crazy, scary lady, and we will never ever argue with her. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to mine out these walls right here in order for them to... A merchant from the Rag Kingdom has arrived. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool. Came through the open defenses right there. Let's go ahead and... Well, I don't think we have anything to trade right now. I would like to get our livestock back up and running, so assuming that she's got yaks with her. She has a female yak. Not very useful. A male and a female alpaca might be a little bit more useful than just getting one female yak right now. I don't think we have anything to trade, though. Unless some of our... We have a yak skull helmet. Awesome. I think that I have a couple of things in here. I have clay statuettes that I had been making for the last little bit, but a lot of them seem to be poorly made. I had designated one of my individuals as a potta, so that he could hang around and get scars on his forehead and have like crazy adventures that no 8-year-old should ever be having. But anyways, I don't think it's going to be enough for us to barter for anything particularly useful right now. We'll probably wait until the next cycle to jump out there and see if... I mean, we might have some seeds around. I don't know. Let's jump to the top of the list and see how we're doing on seeds, because every now and again, they're okay with trading off a bunch of seeds. But I think I traded off... Oh, we have 352 seeds? Well, never mind then. Let's get rid of 252 of those. And then we'll see what we can get out of this deal. Yeah, that's a lot of cottonseed. Let's do 226 right here. And I have to take a moment to look at my keyboard because my microphone is in the way. It is being a saboteur to the overall things that I would like to get done right here. With the pine clippings that we have going on, we could probably get rid of like 93 of those. So there's that. That gives us 571. Yak milk we have a ton of. We have a lot of yak milk going on, which is weird considering we haven't had any yaks for a really, really long time. That's okay too. Whatever. And then everything else... I'm going to keep the sapphire gems because you guys had recommended that I put those into jewelry and that their worth goes up multiplicatively. And so in taking that into consideration, let's get rid of all these statuettes and see if we can get up over 1,000. I don't think that we will. We might get close. Maybe in selling off some of this extra... We've only got to make up for like another 43 down here, so I think we can do it. Let's get rid of the tin armor plates because obviously those aren't very useful to us. We'll get rid of the worn copper helmets, the axes, the hand axes, and all that stuff right there. That gets us up to $9.95. Just $9.95. Reminds me of all those commercials you used to see at like 3 in the morning. Do they even have those anymore? I bet they do. It doesn't seem like one of those things that would go out of style over time. And I suppose we'll get rid of like a tin bar or something. That works. Then we'll get ourselves a male alpaca and a female alpaca. Alpaca alpacas. There we are. I had somebody tell me one time, I probably told this joke already in another playthrough, but I was like, how do you tell the difference between a llama and an alpaca? Because they are distinct things. And somebody said the llama is the one that looks like it's judging you. And it was a person who owns llamas and alpacas, like they have a farm. And she said this with all the seriousness in her heart. She said alpacas are the ones that look like they are judging you. Or did I say llamas? I don't know. She said the llama. We'll go with llamas for this case because I don't know what I said in the first place. But anyway, she said that llamas are the ones that look like they're judging you. And I was like, is that just all the time, like 24 hours a day they just look like they're judging you? Or like, how does that go? Because this seems like one of those weird things where I'm going to convert this since we have alpacas and we are yakless at the moment, I guess would be the adjective that I would acquire. Like feckless, yakless, whatever. And so hopefully the herdsman will come by here and throw that in there. Oh good, the trough is already full, so we don't have to worry about our new yak buddies dying. And so the other thing we might think about doing is getting rid of this cotton field. Once we have enough alpacas, getting rid of the cotton field will allow us a little bit of time to put in some more strawberries or something over here, make better use of our space. And as you can see, they're clipping all of the little trimmings that we need in order to replant this field, and they're doing it actively right now. So as they're cutting down, they are replanting the trees that are being cut, which is good because our log supply has gone up by about 30 right now. And so every harvest we can expect to get... How much does this have? It has 105 pines, and so we can expect to get 105 wood out of this each season, which is going to keep us from deforesting any further, because that is a major problem as you get into the later game. You need to have self-sustainable solutions for wood, otherwise you're just going to run out all the time. And so as we get more wood right here, I think I am going to queue up a few more pine beds, so let's get started on that. I'm going to right-click, go to our build menu, furniture, and we're going to go to bed, and we're going to make these pine beds. These take a little while to craft, but it's okay. It's an endeavor worth having right now since our society is moving on up and becoming a little bit wealthier. I'm going to add 4 more beds. I'm not going to try and get ahead of myself with regards to production because anytime you do that, you end up with way too many jobs, which seems like a foreign problem given how the world is right now. But yes, gnomes have that problem. Too many jobs and not enough workers. Who would have thought? If only it would happen in the real world, and then we could all live happily and just have all these little occupations. But nope. Unemployment being what it is. It's either that or Walmart, I suppose. So you takes what you gets. As they finish this job off right here, we've already gotten what we wanted out of the merchant from the Rag Kingdom. What are they doing right here? Are they just hauling sans wheelbarrows? Really, gnomes? I give you the tools that you require, and you use them as fighting tools, but you don't use them to haul things. Sometimes the gnomish brain is a mystery to me. It is an enigma. Makes me very, very confused. And so did we get those torches down there now? Okay, awesome. That leads me to believe that maybe the wall is almost finished right now. It's getting closer. It's getting a little bit closer. I think that's going to be kind of the endeavor of the season here. As far as I can tell, they don't build things in the proper order every single time, because what we end up with down here is what they should have done is they should have gone into this little slot and placed those, if indeed the game was sorting the activities by whether or not it would get a gnome trapped. So I don't think that's going to be a change that we've seen in this iteration of the game. It's okay. What I'll do is I'll mine this out right here and just have those last 2 blocks go in. And the way in which we shall do that is through the mining menu. We'll go down to the first layer, and blammo, there it is. And so that'll take care of the problem. In fact, we'll go 1 deep right there, just to make sure that it gets done. I don't think that my miners are working on anything right now anyways, because we have full suits of bronze armor hanging out. In fact, that leads me to believe it may be the time to get in here And let's take a look. The first thing we want to do is we want to check for caverns. We want to do those on all layers if we can. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have caverns. And down this way, we did have that problem. So it looked like there was a cavern down this way somewhere, as I recall. Maybe. So let's do the stairs down one further. And we're going to go to our dig menu. Stairs down, and there it is. We'll put these in place, and we'll just go down a couple right now. Just to make sure that the job is getting done. You'll forgive my squirrely clicking right here. My clicking is imbued with the power of the squirrel, which in any other case, oh good, we've got weird colored stone now, which means I need to tell everybody specifically to use marble, because I don't want my entire base to be blue. It bothers me. Stupid wall is in the way and it's all full of ore. Damn you, wall full of ore, get out of here. Alright, so we'll get rid of the wall full of ore, and I guess that's gonna mess up my spacing, but I suppose we'll live with it for the moment because we have no choice. It is not something that can be helped. If there's one thing I've learned about life, it's if you have no choice, just whatever. Don't stress too much about it because it's not something you can affect. Not gonna matter in 5 years. Let's go ahead and get all of our stairs into place. And it's always good to have your stairs in place, presumably before you want to judge somebody. Really, you want to have your stair prepared. Like, sometimes it takes a little bit of training to make sure that your stair is prepared for all of the judgmental activity that's ahead. But you know what? We here at Nompton have no problem with judging people because that's how we acclimate ourselves to problems that are off in the distance. We make sure that they're not a threat. Did I pause the game? I paused the game. And so that's why nothing's happening. I was like, why is there no digging or anything else happening? Gnomes are only happy when digging and inventing. That's what I had wanted to do. I wanted to get somebody going tinkering and seeing if maybe we could get like some blunderbusses or something going, because I've heard that the firearms are quite awesome in this game, and so I'm thinking maybe getting a little bit of shootery going. We don't have any ranged gnomes at the moment, but if we happen to have any stumble into our lovely little society, I don't think it would hurt to have them ready to go with the boomsticks. I can never tell the difference between coal and tin and certain rock types. It always confuses me, and then I'm just like, what are you? And I'm kind of looking. And so what we want to do is we want to get down to the iron layer before we make firearms, because firearms have this unique ability to be better based on what they're made out of, and they also buff the damage of whatever the shot is that they're using based on what properties they have as well. And so, for example, you would want to make a rifle or a blunderbuss. You would want to make that out of steel and birch, because that would give you really, really good firing times and really, really good damage. As they mine all that out, we got ourselves a few more gemstones here. Let me go ahead and get the builders queued up to ensure that we don't have any more spawns on our hands, because, you know what, the only kind of spawn that I want around is Seth MacFarlane's, and even that seems like it would inject a lot of chaos into our otherwise peaceful society, so maybe we'll even hold off on... I'm sorry, did I say Seth MacFarlane? I meant Todd McFarlane. God, that was a weird slip. No, we don't need Seth MacFarlane in here making all kinds of goofy voices and stuff. Seth MacFarlane, you were hilarious, but go off to your corner right now. We don't need you. We need Todd McFarlane. There we are. That is who we want. So anyways, a little bit of a slip right there. It's okay, though. It's alright. I'm putting on a pretty dress later so we can have all the slips that we require. I'm going to continue digging downwards with the effort of getting down to the iron layer. I don't know if it's going to happen for right now, but that's going to give us armor that's bright blue if we can make it into steel. It takes a little more time. It does take a while to forge steel, but it is worth it. Once you've got it, you're pretty much set up for the remainder of the game. There's not a whole lot of terrible things that can happen to you, aside from like zombie outbreaks, and there are still horrible things, but it gets a lot easier from there on. And then I think once we're GERD, and the big focus that I wanted to have for this game was to teach people how to get to self-sufficiency. And so I think once we reach that point, I'll probably turn this into like a once-a-week series. But that's not, I mean, you guys have got at least like 30 episodes before we've got everybody in loads of steel or anything like that. So worry yourselves not, noble NCE. Because indeed, you've still got a lot of episodes to go, and I'm willing to bet by the point we get to like the 30 episodes, you guys will be tired of it anyways. And so it'll only be the hardcore people that still remain, and so I'll probably turn this into like a once-a-week thing just to show you what I've built, and then from there we'll break it off slowly, because my goal with this series... Oh, damn it. I just spilled a soda all over the place. Luckily, it landed in the trash can. Unfortunately, the trash can had no liner in it, so now it is spilling Pepsi everywhere. Luckily, it's inside of a receptacle, though, so I'm not gonna... It's a watertight receptacle, so it's one of those things that I don't have to clean up right this second and make an emergency cut. It is mildly unappealing, though, because I was gonna take a drink in just a second, so... My soda is wasted. I'm so disappointed right now. All of this needs to be done. I'm willing to bet that everybody's sleeping right now with all of the pine that we can muster. Let's go ahead and leave ourselves... How are they doing over here? They're still rocking the trough. Good. Fantastic. So that's full of wheat straw. How much wheat straw do I have, by the way? I should probably add this to my tracked items, but you know what? Damn the weedy torpedoes. I don't care. 11 wheat grain and wheat straw. Where are you? It's up near the top somewhere. I know I'm too far down. Am I? Why can't I ever find the things that I need? Disappoints me. Disappoints me so much. Wheat straw, there it is, 26 wheat straw, so I'm gonna hold off on that for just a second. I'm gonna leave myself a nice surplus so that we don't end up with the same problems that we had before. 8 beds over here is enough. With all the deaths that we've been suffering lately, the beds have been empty. How weird would that be to sleep in somebody's bed that just died, though? That would make me feel kind of creeped out. I'd be like, it's like I can feel their dead little tingly fingers all over my body, touching my ridiculously flabby self. I suppose. I don't know, I was going to take that in a really dark direction, but then I decided to hold off on it. I was like, whoa, let's put on the brakes right now. This is a family show. Let's make sure that this doesn't fly off in a direction where little kids are like, yeah, giving little kids nightmares from all the weird things that I'm talking about. I'm going to stop. We're just going to let it happen and just hang out here and keep it PG, slightly PG-13, occasionally dropping like a shit or a balls every now and again, but not overdoing it. Why do I have an extra anvil right here? Feeling a little bit strange about why I have an anvil. Might be a booby trap. The Anvilin might be... That's our local... I don't know if you guys knew this, but we have a local supervillain who calls himself the Anvilin. And it's just a guy that runs around with an anvil on as a hat. He's got surprisingly strong neck muscles. I mean, it is ridiculous. If he ever joined a strongman competition, I feel as though he would be able to do that thing where you put on the hat with the weights really, really well. It's a goofy-looking competition, but he'd be good at it, had he not given his life to anvil-related villainy, such as giving us strange booby-trapped anvils. So anyways, I think what I'll build right now is we'll go for a workshop, and we haven't put in a jeweler just yet, and so I think a jeweler might be a good idea. Let's go ahead and build ourselves a jeweler so that we can trade for better stuff as the merchants come back. We'll make ourselves, I don't know, like maybe some... We have a lot of silver laying around, I think. Unless I sold it like an idiot, which is also a possibility. Never underestimate my idiocy for selling things I might need later. It's one of those things that I'm pretty good at. I mean, as far as if it was an Olympic sport, I feel as though I would be like the Michael Phelps of selling stuff that I would need later and sabotaging myself, so... It's all good in the hood, though. Let's go and make sure that these torches are being placed actively. Oh good, they are. We're still down at like a copper layer. I think we need to get down to maybe the -50. I don't know. The wiki seems to be outdated in certain cases, and as far as I know, it's like the -50 that you've got to get down to before you start seeing iron. But I'm not completely and totally sure about it, and these are getting all kind of whacked out and strange. You guys will have to forgive me. It's, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Let's not worry about the fact that all of my little tunnels aren't symmetrical. Let's just dig down a little bit further. We're halfway there. We're getting closer. Over time. God, we dug down a lot further than I thought we did. We're gonna need a big old supply of torches. We're down to the -28 right now. I'll check in between this episode, but I'm almost positive it's at least down to the -40 before you start to see iron. It's pretty far down. So I'm not going to say that 100% that's where we need to be, but I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. And as we get deeper and deeper, worse and worse things are going to spawn, like beetles and all kinds of other terrible beasties that I've never had the opportunity to deal with. So we're in full bronze, but I don't think beetles are going to be enough. They lay like these egg sacs from what I understand, which are going to be problematic. I may actually start to dig out some of these layers and just kind of see where it lands us and see kind of the lay of the land, because if we have any... I know that down in this right corner we've had ourselves a major cave network for quite some time, actually going up to maybe the... Going up to... Oh, there's another one over here too, although we don't seem to be too cavernous, which is good actually. That's a really, really good thing. So I think what I would prefer to do right now is let's go ahead and let's dig out this layer and see what we find. Why not? Let's go ahead and just kind of make ourselves a little bit of a tunnel right here. A tunnely system. And as it goes through, we'll place torches as need be. And we'll just keep an eye out for any of those precious metals that we might need. I mean, a bunch of silver would be nice. I would really like to have maybe 35, 40 silver on hand. Make that into some jewelry so that we have some trade fodder for later on. maybe find ourselves, I don't think gold shows up for a long time, so I'm not going to set my sights on anything of that nature, but you know what, we'll get extra copper, we'll get ourselves some extra bronze, we'll get ourselves, you'll excuse me as I asphyxiate right here, I don't know what that was, but it was like one of those weird moments where my pharynx was just like, nope, it decided to be an unpharynx and just totally locked down my throat for the remainder. Was that the bad pun of the day? I think that might have been like the bad wordplay of the day. Let's put in some more torches. Maybe like one right there and one right there. I think that should be a sufficient light radii. What is this right here? This has got to be like, what, basalt? Okay. So some ancient volcanic material. Is it pillowy, though? Is it pillow basalt? Because that would indicate to us later on, if it was pillow basalt, that we had had volcanic eruptions underwater during that given geologic time period. So yeah, you get pillow basalt when lava erupts underwater, and unfortunately it cools, well, fortunately for us anyways, as geologists, it cools so fast that it gives you kind of this spheroidal stone formation. It's called pillow basalt, because it looks like little pillows. None of our fruit is being harvested right now, which leads me to be slightly concerned. But it's, I don't know, something that maybe our food is looking a little lackluster as well. Which is not good considering how much wheat and wheat straw we have laying around. I mean, we have a lot of stuff for later on, so maybe, maybe I'm still not at the level I need to be with regards to all of the planting and harvesting that I have going on. It's disappointing if that is indeed the case. So first things first, I actually would like to use some of this newfound wood to make a... Is it the rail fence? No, it was picket fence that I had before. So what I'd like to do with this is we're just going to get another picket fence going on this side, and I'd like to preload ourselves basically for any future livestock that we might have, and then the space that remains will become that which we will farm from here on out. And so since we've already got like a crossroad going right there, I guess I'll leave that as the gate possibly. And so there it is, Leverly. And so we'll turn this into our new yak field as time goes along, and then down here we'll put like a little field for emus. We're not gonna have too many emus because they tend to lay way too many eggs. If you have too many emus, you just end up with far too many baby bird, pre-bird receptacles in there, and it's bad. I call them bird flight pods, avian flight pods, just to confuse people, just to confuse the biologists. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's a mighty fine looking avian flight pod. It's like a speckled blue flight pod, and they'll be like, what in the hell are you talking about? And I'll be like, I'm a geologist, stand aside. That's how geologists always enter a situation. Be like, geologist, stand aside, and then we flash a fake badge. And people, surprisingly, they move every single time. You never know. They get out of the way. You don't expect it, but it happens. So this dormitory back here, we are going to try and build in this direction. We're going to make like a greater kingdom over here. And I think it's going to work out pretty fine. This is where most of our personal housing is going to be. We'll make our great hall over here. We'll make all of our workshops kind of off in this direction. Maybe put in a well right there for a backup water supply, assuming that we never, or assuming that we ever run out, just in case. Builders building. Hopefully they got these torches done first, though. Gentlemen, or unso-gentlemen, there's one torch that has not been placed. The final saboteur of a torch. There's some coal over there. I don't think we need coal right now, though. Our stockings are already packed to the gills based on Santa swinging by. We've been killing too much stuff lately. Santa has not been pleased. Instead of ho ho ho, he's been like, whoa whoa whoa, you need to slow your roll. Because Santa likes to rhyme like that when he gives his proclamations. I think this is looking like a pretty good spot to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the next episode of Gnomoria. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Take care out there, everybody, and a merry hi-do to all of you, assuming you've not heard one today. I will see you in the next episode.